Do you have any idea how many times The Simpsons have managed to make eerie predictions that actually came true sometime later? Like when they predicted that the Brazilian soccer team would lose to Germany in the World Cup, in the episode where Homer becomes a soccer referee. At least they didn't get the score right, as in the show it was only 2-0 for Germany, while in reality the score was 7-1 on that fateful day. But that would be pushing it, right? Want to know more incredible predictions from The Simpsons that actually happened? Then stay tuned to the video. For sure, this is one of the eeriest and most bizarre predictions of all time from The Simpsons. Everyone knows that recently, the mini-submarine ended up exploding while taking 5 people to visit the wreck of the famous Titanic. Unfortunately, none of them survived. What's even more bizarre is that in reality, the episode of The Simpsons had already made a reference to this event many years ago. At least, that's what many people believe. In the episode, Grandpa vs. Sexual Inadequacy, the 10th of the 17th season, Homer discovers that his father is actually a man named Mason Fairbanks and not Grandpa Simpson. At least that's what he thinks. Mason is a famous marine explorer, so to celebrate the discovery, the two embark on a father and son expedition in 2 mini-submarines to the bottom of the sea. And this is the first bizarre coincidence with the real case of the Titan, as the mini-submarine also had a father and son aboard, who were the Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman. Another bizarre prediction from the episode is that Homer and Mason visit a ship that is split in half, just like the Titanic. And afterward, the mini-submarine gets trapped at the bottom of the sea and the oxygen starts running out. But it was rescued, unlike the Titan's crew, who lost their lives. If this isn't another bizarre prediction, I don't know what is. It's enough to give you chills. Another prediction from The Simpsons related to billionaires was made in the episode The War of the Art. Lisa questions a painting forger about how what he does is wrong, and he argues that what he does ends up bringing art to many people around the world. One of the figures shown as one of the people enjoying a beautiful painting was Richard Branson in a spaceship. Branson is a British tycoon who 7 years after this episode actually went on a space trip aboard a rocket from his own company, Virgin Galactic. This is probably one of the most grotesque predictions of all from The Simpsons. In the 4th episode of the 2nd season of the show, titled 2 Cars in Every Garage and 3 Eyes on Every Fish, Bart ends up catching a 3-eyed fish. The joke is that the lake is near the Springfield nuclear plant, where they dumped toxic waste, which caused the fish's mutation. It turns out that in Argentina, fishermen caught a fish very similar to the one in the show, which also had 3 eyes. Detail: the fish caught in Argentina was also in a lake near a nuclear plant. And the most bizarre thing is that the episode of The Simpsons aired in 1990, and the fish was caught in 2011, meaning 21 years later. That was definitely a very accurate prediction. Since we're talking about animals, let's discuss another truly bizarre prediction from The Simpsons, because in this case, they got every detail right. In the episode Burns and the Casino, a famous magic duo performs with a white tiger as one of the attractions at the casino that Mr. Burns opened in Springfield. At one point, the tiger recalls the moment of its capture and ends up attacking the magic duo. And this is where things get extremely bizarre. A magic duo called Siegfried and Roy actually performed in a casino in Las Vegas with Siberian tigers, which were also white, when one of the animals attacked Roy, one of the magicians. And detail: this happened only 10 years after the episode of The Simpsons. The magician survived, but had to retire due to the injuries. This is indeed predicting the future with quite a lot of accuracy. Since 1989, The Simpsons have been on the air, bringing their acidic humor to the world. And since this has been happening for over 30 years, in a way, it's almost normal that they have predicted some technological advancements that have occurred over the years. One of them is what we see in the 19th episode of the 6th season, titled Lisa's Wedding. aired in 1995. Lisa talks to a fortune teller who warns the girl that she will find her first love. Then, we are transported to the future, at least the future of the show in 2010, which is now our past. Anyway, in Lisa's future, she manages to make video calls to Marge through a phone with a screen. Sure, the design of the device is quite different from the phones we use for video calls, but the concept definitely wasn't in use at that time. That is, The Simpsons got it right once again. In the same episode, another technology that is becoming increasingly popular is also shown. Lisa's boyfriend, named Hugh, who was proposing to her, talks on a smartwatch. Remember that in 1995, the year of the episode, this wasn't even considered in society, which makes it even clearer that the people from The Simpsons might have a time machine hidden in their studios. If you like this yellow family as much as we do, leave #Simpsons in the comments. Remember that first sad prediction we talked about, Brazil losing to Germany in the World Cup? Well, in that same episode, there are even more predictions. A group of gamblers tries to bribe Homer to give them the results they need in soccer games, and for that, they offer a lot of money. The interesting thing is that the animators made sure to use real currency and not dollars in the money bag. But here comes the most bizarre prediction of the bunch. They filled the bag with 200 real bills, and that is definitely a prediction, since in the year of the episode, which was in 2014, it was actually the year of the World Cup in Brazil, but the 200 real bill wouldn't be issued until 6 years later, in 2020. In this, they hit the mark once again. Espionage is one of those things everyone knows happens, but it's hard to prove how it's done. At least it was until 2013, when a US government employee decided to leak a lot of information about how the US government spying scheme worked, even with allied countries. The bizarre thing is that in the Simpsons movie from 2007, they had already mentioned that the government monitored practically everyone's conversations. This happens when Marge and her children are returning from Alaska to Springfield, and she says this. And the bus driver they are on is one of the government intelligence agency's eavesdroppers. Seriously, this was definitely one of the best insights and predictions from The Simpsons. No kidding. When you think The Simpsons can't get any more accurate, they go and slap you with a future prediction. And that's exactly what happened when the episode Bart Gets Famous aired in the year 2000. In it, we see that while Bart has become a failed 40-something, Lisa has become the President of the United States. And upon taking office, she mentions something like they inherited a budget crisis from President Trump. This happened 16 years before Trump's election in the United States. It seems like the writers of the show took a time machine, visited the future, and came back to write the episode, which is pretty bizarre. You might be wondering, and that scene of Homer going down the escalator right behind Trump, is it also a future prediction? Well, folks, that scene from the show actually exists. It was made in an episode that was released directly on YouTube about the real event called Trumptastic Voyage. But at that time, Donald Trump was already running for election in the United States, and in fact, contrary to what many people think, it wasn't a prediction, but a reproduction, as 30 days earlier, Trump had filmed on an escalator similar to the one in the show. In other words, the scene was based on something that had already happened. The same thing happened with this image, released in Simpsons style, where some world leaders, including Trump and the King of Saudi Arabia, are shown with their hands on a glowing globe. But the truth is that the scene is not a prediction either, but a reproduction of the moment as it was shown 15 days after the official photo was taken. In fact, the Simpsons-style image wasn't even aired in an episode, but rather in a quick clip on the Simpsons YouTube channel in 2017, more as a joke about the first 125 days of then-President Trump's administration. In the 22nd episode of the 23rd season, aired in 2012, we have another prediction that the people from The Simpsons got bizarrely right. Lisa wants to be more popular at school and starts writing good things about herself. Throughout the episode, she ends up helping Lady Gaga herself and learns some valuable lessons from it. Throughout the plot, we see Lady Gaga performing in a way very similar to what she actually does at the Super Bowl, which is one of the biggest sporting events in the world where every singer dreams of performing. But the singer did this only in 2017, 5 years after the episode aired. And another point that the show predicted was the way of her suspended performance, exactly as she did at the Super Bowl. Man, they even get the details right. That's eerie. These were the 12 predictions from The Simpsons that actually happened in reality for now, right? Who knows if more are coming? Comment on what you think about the predictions below, as we want to know too. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. Until next time, thanks.